Why do guys like knives? PM2OG from Instagram to YouTube. I've been wanting to do a little bit of a philosophy video for a while, and I've thought a lot about it, and I think it's an interesting topic because there's a lot of marketing implications, there's a lot of social implications to why guys like knives, why we carry knives, what makes them so interesting to even young boys. They're very cool to young boys. I remember growing up, and it was one of the coolest things is when I could finally have a knife. So I think it's an interesting topic, and I think it would be valuable to the industry to understand. A lot of you know I have a medical background, and so I've taken a lot of psychology classes. I don't put a lot of weight on those classes, but they were interesting in teaching thought process. But the knife in front of you right now, in front of the camera, is a very special knife to me. It's an SNG. It's a Franken SNG that Mick put together for me. It's a Performance Series blade and hardware on a basic SNG scale and handle frame. And I asked Mick if he would make it for me because I was in mountain search and rescue at the time, and I messaged him on Instagram. He actually responded back, and he did. And it was just after they had broken apart Strider, and they were kind of in limbo a bit. But he had these performance blades, and he put this together for me, and it was super awesome. And it kind of became a good luck charm for me, and I carried it on every call out after I got it, up until I quit search and rescue a few months ago when I moved to Texas. But it kind of represents to me what it means to carry a knife. I felt more in control of my situation when I had it with me. I was, like I said, it was a bit of a good luck charm, and I always had it in my pocket. And I think that's what carrying a knife for a man is it gives us that much more control of our environment. Gives us the most basic tool we need to survive. If you can go, if you have a knife, you can go out in the woods, and for the most part, if with a little bit of knowledge, you can survive, you can provide for yourself. And even if you don't have a knife, one of the first things survivalists do is make a knife. They get out there, they make a knife of some kind because you need to cut. In order to change the environment, you need to cut the environment. And I think that's the way we look at it. It's a very primitive feel to be able to have the tool to do that. Yes, there's a protection aspect to it, but knife fighting's not, very real. I mean, it's not, it happens, but it's like, using a knife for self-defense it happens, it's rare, but it's, I think for most people, having a knife, you feel more protected, not just because it can be a self-defense tool, but because it's a survival tool. Even guys who have jobs in offices in cities, they still carry knives because it gives them a tool that they need to control their environment. And, it's a very masculine thing to carry a knife. It's a very manly thing. 95% of my followers on Instagram, I have a little over 11,000 followers. 95% of them are men, ages 20 to 40. That's crazy. But when you understand the psychology of it, it makes a lot of sense. These are guys who are just coming into, they're coming out of those teenage years into manhood. I used to tease my teenage patient boys, I say, you're not really a sentient being until you're 25 when you get out of that hormonal soup and can think straight. But they, you start thinking at that point in life about being a provider, about providing for a woman and eventually children. And carrying a knife just kind of goes along with that. If you're a tradesman of any kind, you use a knife all day. If it's from opening packages to cutting, stripping wires, or doing these things, it feels like a necessity once you start carrying a knife. And so I know now, anymore, I feel naked if I don't have a knife. I don't feel like I am in control of my day as much if I don't have a knife with me. I forgot one time a few weeks ago to put a knife in my pocket, And I was like, what the heck is going on? I was like, I might need to go to the doctor and get myself checked out, because I never forget a knife. Even if I'm wearing sweatpants, I'll throw one of these on there or something like that. But, you know, from when you're a little boy, my son's 8 years old, he already picks up on the idea that carrying a knife is a very manly thing. And he wants to do it because it's a manly thing. And then he wants to emulate that behavior. I think we have a major war on men right now in this country, especially, and other industrialized countries. Feminism has become a monster that is no longer sustainable, and men are starting to realize that they've been duped for a while, and that we need to kind of bring back the manly arts, so to say. And one thing, you know, I think psychologically, putting a knife in your pocket just puts a little more manliness back into the equation. So I think it just goes along with, I think that's why there's a boom in the knife industry right now, bushcraft industry, survival industry. It's men kind of taking back control of their environment. And a knife symbolizes that very strongly. Just some thoughts, you know, just some ideas, some thoughts. I don't keep up on the YouTube comments very well, but I do allow myself Instagram, and I'm always there. So, you know, come on over, talk to me about it, and let me know why you carry a knife. You know, I'll have a post about this video, and feel free to start some discussions in the comments section. I think it's an interesting topic. It's going to be a topic that I kind of evolve on and look to. Just a side note, I just realized how funny this is, but my shop's not quite set up yet, and so I'm taking this video on my wife's makeup table, which just struck me as funny. She's got better lighting than I do. So anyway, everybody have a great rest of your week, and let me know what you think. I'll look forward to seeing you over on Instagram. Have a great night.